Hey everyone, just going to give you a quick high-level overview of how to best navigate Capability's mobile app. So it should take the next 10-15 minutes, but this is a great primer as you're getting started using Capability and just an overview of the functionality we have within the mobile app. So we're going to start out here. You're going to see here that I'm creating a project. You're going to choose between commercial or residential. We've got a Google Address API. So once you start to consolidate on the address itself, it'll auto-populate all the relevant data. And then you kind of just follow the prompts from here: what job type, what damage type, customer contact details, and then you're going to go ahead and create the job from a mobile device. I will note that we do have integrations with numerous CRMs, so if you have that set up, it'll just auto-populate from the CRM into the mobile app. So when you get into a project, we start out by having you take an elevation photo, and that's just the front of the property. As you're walking into the job, our recommendation is before you do any sort of documentation, do a walkthrough of the project. Understand what you're going to be looking at, where's the damage, what needs to be captured, and then once you're in it, you in the app itself, you're going to start to use the Copilot tasks as a means to track what you're doing. So what we're seeing here is we're using our work tags function, which is just at a very high level tagging and the types of work and areas that you're going to be working in the space. Then moving on here, so once these tags are established, you're going to see you've got your elevation photo taken, you've created your work notes, and then you're going to curate the number of locations, room by room is our recommendation, for where you're going to be working within this project. So I'm establishing by room. If you're doing a larger project, which say it's a numerous multifamily units, apartment units, you can break it out by apartment unit. We really recommend breaking these things out by how you're going to be capturing your sketches, whether you're using LiDAR or video to sketch. So you can see here the card has turned green because I've completed my Copilot tasks to get this project kicked off. So still here, what I'm doing is just doing that visual assessment of where I'll be working in the project for today and what are the affected areas. Obviously, what you just saw was the workflow that I would do once I've kind of established my general walkthrough. So now I'm starting out in my first location, the main living area, and I'm going to take some initial inspection photos. What you're doing here is just kind of establishing the initial walkthrough scene, what you're walking into, what are the initial damage types. You can do so with 2D images, or what we'll show a little later is you can also capture this through 360 Bluetooth integrations as well. So the goal here is take wide angle shots, make sure you're capturing enough, kind of spatial orientation of what's going on in the project. If you need to, you can highlight or draw on a particular area within a photo, save it, so that'll be logged in your report for later. So moving on, since I've taken these photos, I'm now going to start taking a LiDAR map. And so the main goal here is you want to make sure these white lines are going to just hover and or touch around each of the edges within a project, within your scan. The goal here is it's an augmented reality capture. So it's using a technology called edge detection. It's baked right into your iOS Pro device. You're going to walk around, make sure you're capturing all those white lines on relevant areas. The goal is to move methodically and make sure these white lines are populating. You don't need to spend too much time, but conversely, if you're scanning something really quickly, obviously the scan is sped up a bit, you're going to get less than accurate sketches. So again, I'm doing work tags here. This is specific to this individual location, where prior I did an aggregate of the tags themselves. And then last but not least, because I've designated there's 360 photos, we have these toggles below if you're going to do water mitigation tasks or equipment tracking or 360s. It just allows the person in the field to determine what tasks need to be completed in the job for that day. So here I'm in the moisture map that just from the scan we just created in a matter of seconds. Add moisture points to various areas. So you select the material, you designate the saturation point. Imagine my hand there as your moisture reader. Taking a couple photos for reference, and then moving on. You can add photos from 2 dimensions or 3-dimension view. Squares are floors, triangles are ceiling, and circles are walls. That's the designation for those, kind of the legend for each of those types of points. You can see the process is very similar for each of the point types. So what I'm doing here is creating a floor point, a ceiling point, and then a wall point just to demonstrate everything going on. So as you're going through, I'm marking drywall. So you only have to mark the material the very first time you take a reading for that point. It will, the app will carry forward the memory for all subsequent readings. So obviously these first readings, I'm, imaginary saying that it's 99% and taking these photos. So you can see the last reading was 99%. Here I'm establishing a dry goal, and it may take a second or two just to render in the app itself. But what I'm doing is just tapping and saying that we're trying to achieve a 12% dry standard for that particular point. Next, I'm going to be capturing my atmospheric measurements for this space. I'm loading temperature, relative humidity. We auto calculate your grains per pound, and adding photos we always think is a great point of reference. So imagine my hand is the moisture reader, the hygrometer that's capturing your psychometrics. And then as you move on, you've got your 2 photos. I'm going to go ahead and save that. One thing to note, you may see here, there's sometimes things are uploading. Rest assured, every time you capture something, we store it. When it's saying it's uploading, that's just a designation that we're pushing it to the cloud. So moving on, what we're doing here is taking 360 photos. This is by no means a requirement for your projects. You can do everything from your iOS or Android device. But the 360 photos, obviously, you don't have to teach anyone what to take pictures of, because you're just getting a perfect, spherical count from each image. So we have a direct Bluetooth connection. Our preferred camera is the Insta360 X5. You can buy that through our website. That being said, you can also use any Ricoh Theta or Insta360 camera you already may have. So we're going to connect to the camera here. I like to get out of the scene just to create a clean shot. You hit capture. You're going to hear a slight click from the camera. That designates the photo has been taken. And what you're seeing here with the processing is just the photo being Bluetooth from the physical camera device to the app and to your phone itself. So review the photo, go ahead and save it. And then you're going to see you take multiple photos. But once you've already connected to the camera, it's just one tap and you can take these images. So as it's transferring over to the mobile device, I tend to move the camera to the next shot, so I'm not wasting any time. I think you saw I took about 20 or 30 photos 2D, and I took 3 photos with 360 image capture. So we're huge believers in the 360 image capturing flow. By no means is it a requirement. We just think it really adds value to your documentation and reporting. So you can see here, we're done. We completed the location, and we can move on to the same set of tasks for subsequent locations. So you can see here, we're just doing quick speed ups of what we're scanning within our LiDAR maps. Again, to remember here, move purposefully. You don't need to move super slow. You don't need to move super fast, but capturing all those edges is going to be key. Then once you've captured each individual map, you're going to be able to stitch these maps together in a master floor plan experience. So the benefit here is, you can do this as an individual. If you have 15 people taking LiDAR scans across a project, each individual map will save, or each individual room, and then you can twist and orient and move these around to build out each kind of master floor plan by level. So what you're seeing here is I'm trying to be very methodical. You really don't need to do much, to perfection here. The goal is to show how room A connects to room B to room C and so on. The value is either if you're doing estimating or sketching in-house, this is great for remote estimators who may or may not be able to get on site within the first day or two. You can do this so that they can see exactly how the dimensions lay out. Or if you so elect, you can also leverage our estimate service, which we will convert these sketches into Xactimate sketch files, or if you want us to, we can go ahead and produce an entire estimate once you answer some related questions for the project as well. So you can see I'm just turning and orienting these in the right position. This is a product that is available on both mobile and web. So however you kind of decide you want to best do this. So if you've got a larger project, it's going to be probably easier to do it from web than it is from mobile. Once you see here, first floor is done. Now our master floor plan is complete. And if I wanted to, I could add subsequent levels. Can share this. It'll be dimensionally proportional, so it's really easy to do an Xactimate image underlay there. You can rename it or you can delete. So thanks for watching, and yeah, we hope you get out in the field and find Capability really adds value to your business.